Shout out to the real ones who support the work because I don't show up every day. May I also acknowledge Juan, who just got the black box on ebook, which you can get at thesassin.com. Just click products. And okay, so what are the requirements in terms of what's the age
Oh,
parameter? So what's the age minimum and the age maximum?
well, I do like older men, but
Okay.
I try to not go past 30 for
Not
me.
past
I don't,
30.
yeah, I don't know if maybe I might be wrong for thinking that way, but I think that's fair.
It's a tough one. So I no, really, I think that's a tough one, especially in your situation. Honestly, for a woman at your age of 23, I think, and if you did not have any kids, I would say you probably still want to go probably up to 35, even if you had no kids with a child. I really think that you're gonna really need to go up to 40. And I know that might sound like word, but yeah, I think you're going to need to go up to 40. And I'll tell you why. One, most people in the United States are not very well off financially. So just a psychological idea of having to provide for another person that is a woman is a significant weight. And then the burden of a child, especially one that is not your own, and having to provide for that woman and that child, you need a guy who's both financially stable, which guys are not becoming financially stable until they're 30. That's when they start their financial stability. Then he needs to have another level of psychological stability and experience to take on that child, which is just a whole nother ball. Like I myself, I don't even have any kids. You hear me? If you was like, "Hey, Marquett, take on this kid," I'm like, "Oh, she's like," you feel me? Like I ain't even
But
cooked
hold on.
myself. Yeah, I haven't cooked myself breakfast in like
Yeah,
12
and that's
years.
understandable. I get that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that probably reasonable to consider up to 40. And that's in light of the fact that you're not in ideal circumstances.
Right.
And what are your requirements in terms of height?
Well, as long as they're at least my height, shoot.
What's your height?
I'm 5'6".
5'6". Okay, so they need to be at least 5'6". All right. Any other requirements?
It had to be a man of God for sure.
Have to be a man of
For
God, a
sure.
man of the Lord,
Sure. Yeah.
of any God, or of the Christian God, or the Hindu gods. Which one?
Christian God.
The Christian God. Okay, so they need to be a follower of the Lord, our Savior Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so 5'6", Christian, and a provider. Yeah, you definitely gonna need to be able to go up to 40 to be able to find those things because that's a significant number of requirements.
Yeah.
Especially when you're looking for a family man, because Christianity, especially in the United States, has fallen apart so much. It's not as family oriented as it should be. Like, for
Yeah.
example, if you meet a Mormon guy, and I'm assuming you're not counting the Mormons within Christian, like Mormon men are very family oriented. They're all about that life.
Right.
Jehovah's Witnesses are fairly circled around the family, although they'd probably be disinclined to deal with a single mother. And then Muslim men are very family oriented and marriage oriented as well. Christians, like they get is getting a little bit squirrely. Did your last guy say that he was a Christian or no?
Yeah. He said he was.
Wait, what you mean? What did he say he was or did he
I
not?
feel like he would just. I feel like he felt because he went to church that like he was a man of God, but he didn't practice anything like or you know take any accountability of any. So I like to say he was, but I don't personally feel like he is.
I see. So in his opinion, he was a follower of Christ, but
Yeah.
in his action, that was not the case.
Right.
Understood. Okay. And that happens
Right.
in fact quite a bit. And that's one of the challenges with religion in general, but in particular, the idea that you're in a religion where people can say that they're Christian, they can say that they're Muslim, but there's no one to say like, nah, you ain't one of us. You ain't met minimum requirements. So that's going to be a tough aspect of what you're doing because we know there's a lot of homosexuals within the church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, Tyler Perry, I don't know if you're aware, but his following actually came from the church. That's where he started with his major support for his plays and things like that was within the
Hmm.
church, which is ironic because the church is anti-LGBTQ, and what's more LGBTQ than dressing up as a female?
Right.
Okay. So yeah, you got some basic requirements. And why is the man being a Christian a major requirement for you? And that might sound like a strange question, but tell
Um,
me.
because I need to know that he's gonna be a strong man. You know what I mean? He's gonna have a strong faith, and if his faith is really weak, he's ultimately gonna succumb to a lot of temptations, and you know what I mean, and a lot of things that could potentially ruin the relationship. So
When you say temptations, what would be an example of, say, 2 or 3 deal breakers?
cheating,
Cheating with in
drugs,
general, or like, wait, what is cheating? What is that?
cheating,
No, no, you got it. What is that?
having sex with a different person other than the person that you are in the relationship with.
Okay,
That
let me
get
propose something to you to see what you think about this.
it.
Say meet a guy. He's 5'9". We'll just pick 5'9" because it's not on that sweet spot of 6+, which a lot of women speak to, but it's well above your height. So he's 5'9", and he says that he's a Christian, and he is a provider, has a good income. And he said, I want to embrace you as well as your child. And he says, my goal is to be with you and your child from now until our dying day. I want to take care of both of you in the way that you see fit. And I will also have other women on the side, but I will never leave you and we will always be bonded. Is that a deal breaker for you?
It's a deal breaker. I'm sorry. Couldn't do it. Wouldn't be able to. As much as I would want to, but I just wouldn't be able to live with it. I couldn't do it.
Now we're talking about women. He said I'm gonna have women on the side, not transvestites, women.
But in my eyes, I do believe the trans and that's a lot worse. But
For sure.
I
For
think
sure.
it's pretty close to just as bad, and it's betrayal, and any kind of betrayal I won't accept from.
It's betrayal if he's staying with you till the day you die.
It's betrayal if you're cheating.
Well, it's not cheating. He told you what he was going to
Oh,
do in
if he
advance.
tells me from the
Yeah.
jump, I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, I'm sorry, I can't do that. So
Okay.
it would be something would have to foolishly pass up, but I know that I wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to live with it, so I wouldn't even waste his time like that.
Why do you think you wouldn't be able to live with that?
Just not how my morals are set, I guess. I don't.
Do you think that you picked those morals or you're just a result of today's culture?
I think I know it's not realistic for me to want that, so I get that, but I just think that certain things, certain things, if you see like certain couples and stuff, they almost always divorce due to like infidelity and stuff like that. And
Right. So this is different because infidelity is when you're lying and doing things behind someone's back.
right,
So this
okay,
is someone telling you up front what the
right,
arrangement is. It's an
right,
honorable man being
right,
honest with you. So that this is actually, it
right,
removes the
right,
petty reason that you would leave.
right. Okay, I see what you're saying then.
Yeah.
No, I still wouldn't be able to do it, and I know that's foolish, but I just know myself, and I could sit there and say yes, I'll do it, and I'll be happy, but I won't be happy, and I will be a very terrible wife because of it.
Yeah, I think that that's the challenging thing. It really saddens me for a lot of women because their expectations are not sensible. They're not living in a place that's anywhere near reality. And I don't think that people realize, especially if you're not a high income person, as you age, you're going to need children. And ideally, you're going to want more than one child,
Yeah,
to make sure that in your old age, someone will take care of you. The American government is in trillions of dollars of debt with a T. By the time you need Social Security and all that stuff, you're going to be down bad unless your kids can take care of you. Number one,
right,
you're going to need multiple guys, or you're going to need another man who's stable to provide you multiple additional children so you have a chance. Like, for example, in my mother's case, she has 2 kids. I don't think my brother's going to be the one to be able to take care of her. You hear me? If she had to rely just on him, she'd be taking the L. They both be in the homeless shelter together. So she had 2 kids. Fortunately, she won with one of them. I'll be able to take care of her. Now, in your case, you have 1 child. Who knows how the child's going to perform? Hopefully very well. Without a father, the data indicates that it's a lot less likely. But the thing that is strange is that what women are passing up on a consistent basis is the right guy. Your ability to select mates is horrible. What you would rather is, you rather a beta male, a weak male who says, "Yeah, I love you and only you and you're everything." And he lies to you, and then behind your back, he's a closeted homosexual. He lies to you, and then behind your back, he's unfaithful. He lies to you, and then behind your back, does all variety of amoral things. But then you meet the guy who's an alpha male, a real man, and because he's real, he doesn't have to hide or lie to you. He says, "Hey, you're fantastic. I think you're worth being with for a lifetime. I'm a man who can get anything he wants. I will have a few other women that I deal with, but I will always come home to you. You will always be a priority and you will be prized." That's called honesty. So what you do is, you can't handle the truth, so you skip over the honest man, the strong man. You might sleep with them periodically. You essentially become a side girl who gets no like real care over the long term. You might sleep with him a couple times because he's strong, handsome, good looking, and affluent. But then you stick with the weak male who lied to you to get you and lies to you continuously to keep you. And then when you find out that the weak male is a homosexual or is also cheating, then you fall apart and then you divorce and then you break a family and make the kid a bastard.
Can I throw something in real quick?
Throw it in there.
Okay. So you brought up the likelihood of STDs with gay sex. What's
High, very high.
Yeah, and I get that, but there is still a likelihood of STDs with any other regular woman, and why would I want to have to worry that my husband might have had sex with someone with STDs and
That's
now
not what you're actually worrying about, if we're being honest. What women are worrying about is not STDs. What you're really worrying about is your psychological and emotional inability to handle the fact that he engaged in a physical experience with another woman. You're not really worried about the STDs. And here's the truth of the matter: the difference between the guy who tells you he's going to have women on the side and the guy who lies and says he's not, here's the difference. If you find a guy that you find to be appealing, like, yo, man, this guy is charming, he's funny, he's easy to get along with, he's tall, he's strong, he's well off. If you find him to be that guy, I promise you a bunch of other women find him to be very impressive as well.
right.
Okay, so there's that. Given that, you'll never find a man who is in a strong position where he can eat as much as he wants and he's going to walk into a buffet and say, "No, I already, like, I don't want any food." No, of course, he's going to dine. So the issue is this: even though you have a filet mignon is my favorite. In fact, I just had some last night. Filet mignon is my favorite. But am I going to eat filet mignon happily every single day with nothing else, with no accompaniments? No, give me the lobster mac and cheese on the side. You dig? So the fact of the matter is, I'm always going to come back to filet mignon. It is my favorite. But I will periodically need some lobster mac and cheese to go with it. You heard me? Like, throw some mushrooms on there. Give me some chimichurri sauce. You hear me? I can't just not every single day. So here's the difference. You find that guy who is appealing to you. He's also going to be appealing to other women. And no man is going to resist what he's wired for, which is women. So you deal with the same guy who's appealing. The only difference is the guy who's weak lies to you, and the guy who's strong tells you the truth. So in both cases, they have other women. The only difference is the one who told you the truth is probably going to be more responsible with the other women. Why? Because that's his nature. He's honest. He told you the truth because he's responsible. So when he deals with other women, he's going to deal with them responsibly. The guy who told you he's not going to do it is a liar, which means he's irresponsible. So when he deals with other women, he's going to do it irresponsibly. Pop up with kids, pop up with STDs, pop up with drama. And you, being a delusional woman, you're going to pick the weak guy who's more effeminate because you can identify with that. You want a guy who's more like you than like a man. That's how you end up with a gay guy, just in all respect and love. You end up with a gay guy who likes dudes, and you like dudes too. He's feminine. You ended up with him because you were seeking yourself in a man. You see, it is the woman's nature. Do you ever want to be with multiple guys?
No,
I mean, if you do, let it be known. You don't have to lie. Do you
I
ever
don't.
want to be with multiple guys?
I truly don't.
You truly don't. That's very common. That's the woman's nature. So you project that onto a man. Oh, you should only want me because I only want you. That's not a man's nature. A man's nature may be to only love you, but that doesn't mean he might only want to lay with you. So you're projecting your feminine nature onto a man. And for the man to get you because he might find you attractive, he pretends and masquerades under that feminine nature. But a real man doesn't have to bend over for you. You heard me?
I agree.
The fake one bends over for you, and then you find out that he's like, taking it up the backside. I'm gonna go just to your baby daddy, whoever he is. And by the way, Brody, like if you see me, introduce yourself to me. I'm gonna slap you in your face because you disgust me. But check this out, Brody. He tried to claim that I'm the one doing the pushing. I'm not taking it, bro. He is taking it. That's a damn lie. Bro is taking it because if he got abused when he was a child, he got abused by taking it up the backside, and he's lying.
Right.
Go ahead though.
Yes, I do agree with everything that you have said. You're 100% right. I think you're right with the way that like kind of women are delusional like that, and like we'll know that, you know, it could be like the perfect guy, but like it's just that one thing that we don't want to give into, you know. But me personally, I couldn't even imagine what a relationship like that would even be like. So I don't even
It's
know if
funny you say that. What would a relationship like that be like? You've probably been in relationships like that. You know, well, I don't know if you've just been with the gay dude for the whole time, but if you were with a normal dude, you've probably been in a relationship like that. What is that relationship like? It's like a regular relationship. And then when he's on his time without you, he might lay with another woman here and there. And then he continues on with his relationship with you. It's like a normal relationship, unless he's in a situation where he's saying, yeah, you know, I want to have two wives or three wives, then that's a different structure. But truth be told, I personally think it makes more sense when you really think about the actual nature of human beings and how we're supposed to live in human society. There's a number of things that women enjoy doing that they try to do with men. And it's really not appropriate because we are different enough. We don't realize that, yeah, we're supposed to sleep together. We're supposed to lay in bed together, make love, and, you know, I'm supposed to support you and protect you and all this other stuff. But the petty little things that you guys like to do, like if you say you like gardening, you're like, hey, come out and garden with me. Like, nah, I don't want to garden with you. Like, let your sister garden with you. You know, let your mom, your aunt, or your sister wife garden with you. Like, you need someone that's right there with you on a peer level. Like, I don't want to garden with you. You might want to go do these activities. I don't want to do those activities. I'm also not going to invite you to come to the boxing gym and spar with me. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the problem, is that we don't have proper family relationship and community structures around us. And then we get confused because this is the person we spend most of our time with. And we think that they're supposed to fulfill all of our needs. You don't fulfill my need to go engage in a violent blood sport. I don't fulfill your need to like play patty cake with you and do all these other things. And that's why it actually does make sense for you to have a sister wife who's a peer and you can go enjoy certain aspects of your womanly instincts with. But instead, you want to make the man into half of a woman. And then you got the weak guys who do it. So you have weird expectations. Like your man probably went to the salon with you. You heard me? You getting your hair done. He getting his hair done right next to you. Nah, baby, I'm going to drop you off at the salon. You dig, with your home girls and all that. But I'm not about to be in there kicking and shooting the ish. Talk to me. What do you think?
I agree with everything you're saying. You're 100% right. That I don't have any kind of comeback or rebuttal for that.
But it's still hard for you to do. And the
Yes,
reason that I talk to
I'm
men
not,
is that,
I would never. I possibly would, but I don't think that I'm even close to there yet.
right, you go in there kicking and screaming. And that's why I tell men, like, there's a there's a lot of things with women that you just have to make the decision for them because they're not going to make the right decision. Women make decisions to break marriages. Women make decisions to pursue a Superman fantasy guy that literally doesn't exist. They're probably, so you're 23 right now. Let's say magically there's a 23-year-old man who's very successful, mentally stable, and responsible, which there isn't. That doesn't exist. But let's just pretend there was. If he was that guy, would he want to date you given your demographics? Of course not. It's not even sensible, right? So A, that guy doesn't even exist. And B, if that imaginary guy did exist, he's not going to want to deal with you because of your demographic situation. And you're in prime age. You know, 23 is a good age. 24 is a good age. You're in prime age. It's just that your circumstantial situation is quite difficult. Like, for example, me, I love to travel. So it's sad if I was dealing with, I was like, hey, let's go to Greece tomorrow. Like, you need to make some real arrangements for that to happen. And truth be told, I don't even feel comfortable. Even if you're like, yeah, I can go, I'll have my kids stay with so and so for like 4 weeks. I'm like, damn, like, what kind of mother are you? Like, that doesn't even sound good to me. And more importantly, I don't trust nobody with kids. Like, if it's not the mother of the kid or the grandmother of the kid, I don't trust it. You hear me? So that's just me though. So the point is, you're living in a situation that's so unrealistic. And I want to talk to the men as well, that when you're dealing with a woman, if a woman is worthwhile, you got to take away options from her. And I know that you're like, well, what about the law? F the law, damn it. You have to take away options. So if you got a good woman and she's like, I'm leaving you, you got to tell her, like, nah, you ain't going nowhere. You're mine, and it's all the way over. Like, there's no options. You're not going nowhere. Because women leave good men all the time. And they go and find liars who will tell them truths, or they'll tell them false
But
truths that sound pretty. Y'all love liars. Like, I could lie to you too. Like, you hear me? Like, I could romance you with some lies. You hear me? You want to get finesse? I'll finesse you right now. You looking to get finessed, huh?
hey, I don't want to get finessed
You
anymore.
do want to get finessed. You listen, you have to.
That's why I'm trying to just like, I don't know, just reflect on myself right now. And yeah, I mean, but like overall, I know that I'm not ready for that right now. Like,
Yo, ass better hurry up, because
I
you're a
know,
real adult. Like, you're older than I am right now. Do you
I know,
realize that?
I know.
Listen, I was talking to young lady yesterday, and I was like, where should I move? Like, I want to move. Like, where do I move to? And it's hard because I can move anywhere in the world, literally anywhere, anytime. I can move today, tomorrow, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It doesn't matter. So I'm so free. I'm like Richie Rich. You hear me? Like a rich little child. I have no responsibility, no nothing.
Right,
I have no pets, no kids, no obligations. I listen, even if I drop dead, it really shouldn't matter to anybody. I'm sure people, when Kevin Samuels dropped dead, people are like, oh my God, like, bro, shut up. You ain't never met that nigga in your life. But the point is, I'm actually younger than you are because you're living a real adult life. You have to earn. You heard me? Like, I could just stop working, but you must earn. You're required to earn. You're required to be responsible, timely, to wake up, to mind, to watch after another life,
right,
human life. You're older than I am. So
right,
when women are over here talking about I'm discovering myself and all, well, you got to get after it, because like you have to be ambitious about your life right now, because you don't have time to be a young woman, like because you're not young anymore. Like, you're your mom.
right.
That's your identity. So like you don't have time to be doing all this adjusting. It's like we gotta. But
How
here, but
do that though?
what's that?
How do we just get there though, like that? Like,
You got to find a man who's going to put you on program, because usually it's a man's responsibility to lead a woman to where you need to go. But the fact of the matter is, your first task now is to find a man who can. So a woman's purpose in life, and I'm going to put this into a course shortly for women. A woman's purpose in life is to find a man who is responsible, honest, and has purpose in his life. So a woman's purpose is to find a man who is responsible, honest, and has purpose in his life. A lot of guys, like for example, your baby daddy. What would you say is his purpose or goal in life right now? Like, what's one big thing he's working on right now?
football.
Football?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, is he in
But
the NFL or?
he no. He does like, I guess you could call them fantasy leagues, and
Oh shit!
yeah,
Did you said fantasy leagues?
yeah,
Meaning like fantasy, meaning like not real.
yeah.
Fantasy, you mean like for fake?
Okay, so he says like people go and watch them play and like he could possibly give him chances. So, but that's what his whole, I guess,
You
reasoning.
you said fantasy though, right? Like,
Yes,
meaning
yes.
for fake. Okay, cool. So that's again what I'm talking about in terms of men versus women. Women live in Disneyland, and that's fine. Y'all can make it living in Disneyland, but men can't live in Disneyland. So when you talk about a grown man, I was like, oh, does he play football? Like he's in the NFL? Like, you're like a fantasy league. Oh, okay. So now we're playing games again. And that's the problem, is that you're dealing with jokesters out here. You're dealing with straight jokesters. And this kind of a thing, I don't know if you felt embarrassed when you were saying that, but you should.
Yes, I did.
You did. Okay, good, good. I'm making sure we caught up here. Like, yeah, you for
um,
sure should.
but yeah, I'm not sure right now what he does for a living, but I know he
Yeah.
still keeps up with the fantasy league football. And
Is he supporting the kid?
no, not at all, nothing.
Oh. Are you getting him for child support?
I don't even ask him for anything.
Okay, look, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. And this, I want everybody to remember this. You ain't never in life. I despise the government. I despise the police, all that, all of it. And I despise alimony. I despise the child support system. But since this ball is an actual Skittle guzzler, man, flame this boy. Take him to that child support court and get your child support. Because here's the thing, I always support the idea of a father being in a child's life, no matter really what the issue is. As long as he's not beating the snot out of you and he's not a Skittle guzzler, bring him back into your life. But in your case, he's violating. So go ahead and get that child support, because the thing is, you don't want somebody like that in the child's life, because that ball is damaged. You hear me? Like, I don't know
Right,
if he gonna touch the kid or he gonna let one of his weird
right,
friends end up touching the kid.
right.
So you need to get that bread up out of him, because that's all he's good for. And I would never recommend a woman put a man on child support, but I encourage you highly to put this boy on child support. And I'd damn near be
Wow,
willing to support it.
wow, that's crazy that you say that. Actually, for a long time, I haven't done that because I felt like it really wasn't a point to do it
Mhm.
because I knew I wasn't gonna get anything anyways.
Yeah.
But since I have been getting food stamps,
Mhm.
so that's been a blessing for us.
Mhm.
It's by law here in Florida that you pretty much put your child's father on child support if you order for food stamps.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that till then. So I'm going to have to either way. So,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. I mean, he deserves it, bro. And I'm not saying that to, speak any negativity toward Skittle guzzlers. It's just the fact of, like, you're a liar. There's no such thing as a bisexual man. It's like either you're gay or you're not gay. This is
yeah,
not bisexual, bro. Like, stop it, homie. Like, that's a lie.
yeah, like, hold on. Bisexual? You mean gay?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, there's nothing. I get into it anyways.